Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me for another monthly net worth update. Today's video is for July 2024. So as per usual, let's go ahead and jump right into the numbers. To recap from June 2024, last month, my net worth at the end of last month was $123,442. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the equity that I have in the condo I own here in Calgary. That sits at $58,016. That is up $455 from the previous month. Again, if you haven't watched these videos, that goes up the same pretty much every month. So nothing too exciting there. My RRSP, or Registered Retirement Savings Plan, sits at $57,341. And this account saw a pretty big uptick of $2,139. And if you haven't seen these videos before, I am completely 100% invested in VEQT, or the Vanguard All Equity Fund, in this account. My DCPP, or Defined Contribution Pension Plan, sits at $4,418. That is an increase from June of $164. This is also invested in VEQT and has seen a little bit of an uptick, so that has been great. My TFSA sits at $66, a very slight decrease of just $12. I kind of wanted to drop this account off my list, but I will be funding it hopefully in the coming months. My cash account, the last one on this list, sits at $6,073. This is just a slight decrease of $274. I've just been taking some money out of that account to cover some bills and some bigger expenses, which we'll chat about. So that brings the grand total net worth for July 2024 to $125,914. This is an increase from June of $2,472. I am so happy to be reaching that $125,000 milestone again. 150 is the next goal, so we'll see how long that takes me to get there, but super excited to finally be saving some money again. Now let's talk about income. So like every month, I made about $500 in rental income from my rental property. I made $335 through YouTube. This is just through AdSense. I don't do any kind of partnerships or sponsorships or anything at this point. My regular job, my full-time job at the brewery, paid $2,565. That brings the grand total income for the month to $3,400. So not too shabby. And of course, I love my job. If you haven't seen my other videos, I absolutely love my job. So it is well worth the lower pay. And for the next category on this list, we're covering expenses. This is something new that I'm adding to these videos. We're gonna break down every single expense. So the first thing, the biggest part of my budget is rent. $875 for my half this month. This is the last month I am paying that much. Next month, I will be paying double that because I will be living on my own. We're gonna talk about that, so stay tuned for that update. Next on the list is $85 for insurance. So this is home insurance that I pay for my condo that I own, and then also renter's insurance for the place I live in right now. $67 for electricity, $81 for phones. I pay for 2 lines currently. My grocery bill for the month was $317. This also includes some like miscellaneous household purchases because I normally buy those kinds of things like toilet paper, paper towels, or dish soap or whatever, those kinds of things at the grocery store. I spent $41 on laundry. This kind of blows my mind, but I was doing so much laundry for some reason over the last month. I'm gonna have to wait and see if I actually need to do that much or not, because that seems like a ridiculous amount. I don't know. I don't have a washer in my unit, so I have to pay every time I go, but it just seems like a little more than it should be. I spent $427 on entertainment. So again, this month, like last month, I had a much larger budget than I normally would for entertainment. This has just been like going out with friends, buying certain things. Like I bought a zoo membership that was $80, I think, and it's good for a year. So just like piling that on top of other entertainment expenses has this category a bit higher than I would like it to be. It was also Stampede over the last month, and that comes with spending a lot more going out. And I ended up buying merch from a brewery here in town that had a really big fire and their entire brewery burnt down. So it was sort of like a supporting them type of thing. I think I spent like $80 there. So it added up really, really quickly. Again, this is higher than I would like it to be, and in the coming months, it should come down. I spent $540 in my miscellaneous category. That is a lot. I ended up donating a few like $100 to various things that happened over the last month, just like different friends having issues and businesses and whatnot. So I've been a little more like charitable than I normally would be over the last month. I also bought Goofy cat food, a really big bag. It's over $100 for one of those. It lasts like 3 or 4 months though. But yeah, when that falls on whatever month, it's always gonna send that category pretty high up. I also spent about $150 on skincare. My skin has really been reacting since being home to different things. So I'm trying to find a routine that works for me. And in doing that, I have to try a bunch of different products. Being a little older, like mid-30s almost, my skin is changing and I need to find a better routine. So I've just been buying and testing different products, different sunscreens and things like that. So I ended up spending quite a bit on that this month, but once I nail down that routine, it should be a lot more affordable. I also spent about $40 or $50 on transit here, on using scooters. I had some issues with my bicycle, so I had to scooter instead of biking to and from work. And then I also had to jump on the bus or the train to go to a few different areas, so that added up quick as well. And the last item on this list is clothing. Again, I spent $230 on clothing this month. That is a lot. Honestly though, it is items that I haven't bought for myself in years, like years that I've wanted. I went and splurged on some nicer items that I had been eyeing for a while. So again, I'm really hoping this comes down in the next few months. I actually haven't bought clothing in probably a couple of weeks now. Like I did purchase this stuff early on in July. And since then, I found like my wardrobe, I think, is finally good, at least for summer. We're gonna see in the winter, but this category will come down for sure. I just needed and wanted a few things that were more like specialty items. So for the month of July, I spent $2,663 in total. That's not too bad. It's down from the previous month and it should continue to go down in the coming months as well. So let's go ahead and jump into some life updates. Let's talk about FIRE. Let's talk about coastFIRE, financial independence, retire early, all of that. That is the reason I started my channel. Those are the videos that I made from the beginning, talking about FIRE and retirement and personal finance and getting all of those things in line. And it's been like 4 or 5 years on YouTube now, and it's still something I aspire to, I guess you could say. Technically, I have considered myself coastFIRE for the last like 1.5 to 2 years, but at this point, it's a little tricky now because I am single now. I am on my own, and yes, we're gonna talk about that, but it changes things up a bit, and I've always planned my FIRE numbers and my FIRE calculations and everything with the mindset that like I would be with someone long term and be splitting expenses, especially housing costs and all of that. And I've kind of like rethought this a little bit, that I want to get to a point where I could support myself fully if I were to be like on my own indefinitely. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I've had to kind of rethink this. So I don't know if I really consider myself coastFIRE anymore. When I do those calculations, I never include the equity that I have in my property here. So about $60,000, I never include that. And that's kind of been like my fail safe. If something happens, you know, I could do like a reverse mortgage or something like that. I'm kind of in this weird in-between limbo state right now with FIRE. I do want to continue to pursue it. I want to continue to put more money away. I'm hoping to put like an extra, let's say $2,000 every year into retirement, just to pad it up a bit and to have a bit more peace of mind. And that plan would be to spend about 30,000 Canadian dollars a year in retirement. That is less than I hope to spend right now. You can see the last few months have been a lot more expensive, but usually I hope to be spending like $2,500, $2,600 a month. And I think the issue is that I don't make enough money to pursue full-on FIRE, like full-on retire early. That's just like a simple fact. And I love my job and I really don't want to do anything else. It's just part of this kind of work. It does not pay very well, but it is so fulfilling in so many other ways. I guess I'm taking a hit on the financial side in a way in order to do this, but this was always my goal, was to get to a point financially that I had enough in investments that I could go and work a job like this that I actually liked, that I didn't have to be sweating about the salary and I could make like, 20 bucks an hour and be totally okay. And being on my own, it does change things. It means that the YouTube income that I have, the income that I have from my rental property are actually like necessary now, where before they were not. So that does change things up a bit, but yeah, we'll talk about it. So I'm just gonna cover this really briefly. Yes, I am single now. I am going to be 33 years old this fall. And it's a little daunting, not going to lie, but I don't want to go into the details of the split. Like Donovan and I are on good terms and everything, so I'm not gonna really like get into it. But I am not 100% sure when or if I'm going to start dating. Like, I'm sure I will eventually. I just, right now, work is so busy and I just feel overwhelmed with just taking care of myself that I cannot picture dating right now. Is just going to be a little while, like possibly sometime next year, but I don't know. It's this time it's different being on my own, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this chapter of doing something different, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough to find someone that you're really compatible with on so many different levels, and I just don't want to do the work right now to meet someone else. I'll just be honest. I am planning some pretty cool solo travel though next year. I would like to do a really big Euro trip. I am lucky enough that I get to take off like 3 to 4 weeks if I want to at work. It would be unpaid, of course, but I'm looking at going to like Scotland, Italy, Greece, and a few other places. I have a friend who can work remote for up to, I think, like 40 days every year. And she wants to go and spend some time in London. So I thought I would go visit her and then just travel around. Like, I wanna go super minimalist. I wanna almost like backpack Europe for a month. I think that would be incredible to do solo. And I'm really looking forward to it. I am now starting to plan and save for that probably next fall, but super excited. I hope you guys get to come along with me because I'm just like really looking forward to that. I'm also not 100% sure I am going to be buying a vehicle anymore. If you saw my previous net worth update, I mentioned that I might be buying a van from someone that I work with who is leaving the country in November, I believe, but the van has had some issues, so I'm not 100% sure I want to put any money towards it. We'll see. That's still in the air. Just like existing in general in a Canadian city is kind of tough without a vehicle. It can just get a bit difficult if you need like bigger items or you need to go to some special store. Like when I go to get Goofy's cat food or get her litter, it's heavy, it's bulky, and sometimes it's out of the way to get that stuff. So a car would be really handy and really great. But I don't know if I want to take on like a vehicle payment or insurance, because insurance prices here are kind of out of control. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of liking the whole no vehicle life right now, not having to worry about any of those expenses or like where to park it or maintenance or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Again, we're going to go through winter, and that will be the deciding factor, I think. And it has just been a very chill summer so far this year. I haven't really been traveling, but I'm hoping to get out to Banff in the next couple of months. The pricing in Banff right now is like insane. It's like $400 to $700 a night at all these hotels. I swear it was never that expensive, but maybe I've just never been there in the summer overnight. So going in the fall, going in the winter, it's gonna be a lot more affordable. And there is a bus that goes out there and back. So we'll be able to go out to explore the mountains, and that'll be really great. It's just been nice to be home and to be diving back into work, exploring the city, going out with friends to new restaurants, and just like doing things around Calgary has been amazing. I really have a new appreciation for this city after being away for the last year. I don't know if I just never went out before, but being back here, it feels like there's so much more to do. It's so much more vibrant. There's always like so many things going on, so many events going on. I just feel like very lucky to live in a city like Calgary. I truly, truly love it. And that brings us to the end of the video. So again, I just wanted to give you guys a huge shout out, a huge thank you, whether you're new or you've been with me for many years. Thank you so much for your support. Like you can see with my expenses and everything, I mean, you're watching this video right now, you are actually like helping me pay my bills, helping me go out and do things, and it's just incredible. I think it's such an amazing community on YouTube, and I can't thank you guys enough for continuing to watch these videos. Leave me a comment down below. I'm really curious to know like when you started watching my videos and what video, if you remember, like brought you to my channel or made you want to subscribe. But anyway, thanks again, and I'm so excited to see you guys in the next video. Bye.